wild animals in photos or history? No, yeah, no, right? Many people will say like animals roam around my house, like mine. So let's begin. So what I'm doing presentation on is poaching. I think everyone know what poaching is, but let me say, it's an poaching agent is in illegal hunting of animals for their parts or maybe skin for the use of humans. Okay, so poaching is slowly destructing our biodiversity, and which do not only affect animals but us humans too. We might not know, but it is affecting us too. So let's begin. So we all have an idea about what poaching is, right? So let's move on to what was my objective with the research. So first objective is to get a knowledge on what factor drives the poaching. What are the drivers, like why people poach, why they hunt. So second is to know its impact. We clearly don't know like how it is impacting us clearly. So my objective second was to know its impact on animal and ecosystem. And for the third, reviewing existing laws for animal protection, wild animal. So these are my objectives. So for literature review, like many scientists that has studied like decade mentioned that poaching plummet the population of wild animals. It is true, like there are declining numbers of wild animals. And second, poaching fuels and multi-billion dollars black market for animal products and different parts of animals. And third is law exists but the enforcement has been weak and corruption plays in people. We all know like Nepal is high number in corruption. So we all know that. So what are the gaps? What I'm doing? So we don't fully understand how ecosystem recover from poaching. How does it recover? Does it recover or not? We really don't know about that. And for second gaps is few studies shows the perspective of poachers. Are they driven by greed or survival? Why do poachers hunt animals? Why do they eat? We don't know. And the third is there is little to no research about the open border. Like Nepal and India has open border. And also the first thing we need to know is many national parks like Chittor National Park or Sa are connected to India. So there is no any kind of border. They are fully jungles and forests connected to it. So there is no research about the open border. So what I'm doing is research on the border too. So what methodology I use? Primary. First of all, I go to Chittor National Park because I live there nearby. So I interviewed the ward chairman of Bharatpur Metropolitan Institute, ward number 23, which is the ward nearest to Chittor National Park, and interview the deputy mayor of Bharatpur Metropolitan City. Interview the local residing Chittor National Park peoples, and how I collected my secondary data is existing law for animal conservation. There is no doubt that Nepal has one of the strictest law for the wild animals. So there is no law is now weak, and what we need to do is enforce it. And for the finding and discussion, so what drives poaching is poverty. People living there near around the Chittor National Park are minorities and who are very under the poverty line. So they hunt for little amount of 10,000. They hunt for small amount so they can survive in it. And second is finding that open border. So what the national parks are doing is they monitor and control, they have monitored each endangered species, wild animals, and they can monitor. But if they go out of the Nepal's border, they can't do anything because it's a territory of India and Nepal can't do anything. So the open border is one of the things that is increasing poaching, because trade also, trade is easy. There are many levels of poachers. There is the one poach is minority, and the higher one is we don't know. The one who get prosecuted is the least, that one in the bottom that don't know anything. They just poached for their survival. And third is high number of poaching in Torres, and as we talk about the border and the land near, so they can trade in India. And the fourth is declining numbers of animals is making animals wander in the residential area. which is threatening both life of human and animals. So what is happening right now is, because I live near the Chittor National Park, so I have experienced it. What happened when you when people post animals, like, okay, take an example of elephant. Oh, okay, so when elephant, like, most of the time male elephant are posed because of their tusks. So when they kill that animals, and then, like, elephant female roam around the villages near there, because that like they are looking for their partner, and like they don't know where they have gone, so they wander around, which not only increase the harms to animal but also people living there. So they are like, they go to residential area and harm people, and not being able to enforce laws properly because of like open border. Nepal can't like enforce their laws with no, India or China, so enforce, like, corruption also plays a role to not being able to enforce laws properly. And last is that lack of funding and technology. So Nepal is really back in technology. We don't have like that equipment to track every animal. We can do, like, we don't have technology or even a funding, like corruption, like people take away that funding that come from like other countries. So that's, and recommendation is strengthening law enforcement by monitoring and prosecution of poachers. Like poachers, if you talk about poachers, the lower level man, they always get prosecuted. Like, law is really strict. They get like 14, 15 years of prosecution, and we need to monitor like how it is happening, like their trends, how it is happening. More elephants are got killing by like guns, and for tigers, they are like they are using some kind of like chemical to like make them unconscious. And so we need to monitor every animals, even if the like patrolling is on the outer part of national parks. There is no patrolling in the inner parts, and most of the poaching happens in the inner parts of the forest. So funding on technology, like we need to like fund on technology, advanced technology, like other use. We have like maintained zero poaching for like 3 consecutive years, but after the 2020 when the lockdown happened, like it also started increasing because of the money drivers. And we need to do like education and awareness on conservation, that people need to know like how it is disrupting our ecosystem, how it is making animals like leave their habitat. So we need to like give education and awareness on the conservation. And for the conclusion, the last, Nepal has made remarkable strides in the fight against poaching, thanks to the strong conservation policies, community efforts, and innovative technology. The country has seen real progress, zero poaching milestone, improved wildlife monitoring, and thriving national parks. But battle is far from over. Poaching remains a deep-rooted challenge, fueled by organized crime networks, economic hardship, and open borders that make illegal wildlife trade difficult to control. Without continuous monitoring and protection, iconic species like rhino, tigers, and snow leopards remains at risk. The solution isn't just stronger law enforcement, it's about empowering communities, creating sustainable livelihood, and using technology to protect Nepal's biodiversity. With collaboration, policy enforcement, and global engagement, Nepal can become a true model for conservation, proving that progress isn't just possible, it is necessary. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you, everyone.